So for MotoGP 26, Milestone have actually added rider ratings, kind of mirroring what's been seen in the F1 game the last 5 years or so, and previously before that, things like FIFA and many other yearly sports game franchises. And as someone who knows Milestone games very well, in fact has probably spent more time looking into Milestone games than most people have playing them, I was a little bit curious to see how these work. Now, after a brief investigation, I'm not too sure that they do. I'm going to be doing some tests today, and that's what we're going to be determining in this video. Do these rider ratings actually mean anything? Do they affect the on-track performance of the riders? Now, I should probably explain my skepticism. Every game since MotoGP 23 has worked in the same way in terms of the rider performance, so let me give you a little context for that one. So if we have a look here at the MotoGP 25 game database, you can see it is 25 because we've got people like Jake Dixon still in the game. Diogo Moreira is still in Moto 2. But effectively, the way it works is we've got this default personality value here. This controls actually how good they are in the game, and you could probably guess from these different values, but there is champion, competitive, higher group, lower group, not competitive, bad, and last, I think is all of them. But again, as I said, you can kind of grasp from that how that affects the game. For example, we've got Canet here, champion. In MotoGP 25, he is a top rider. Ayumu Sasaki, bad, is towards the back. So that's how it's worked every game from MotoGP 23, MotoGP 24, and MotoGP 25. If we jump over to the MotoGP 26 database, however, again, kind of proof that it's MotoGP 26, that's been Jose Antonio Rueda in Moto 2 and Luca Linetta and things like that, you can see that this column still exists. Now, this was the thing that kind of tipped me off and made me think, does this actually work as it appears to on the surface? It could very well just be a leftover for the previous game, so that's obviously what we're going to try and prove today. So we've got these values here that I am referring to, and there is a different table that actually has the different rankings in. So if we, for example, search for Marc Marquez, we'll go a little bit more specific. See 96 pace, 96 speed, 97 pace, 98 head-to-head, reliability, 95. If we jump in the game, that's exactly what we see here. And then they also get averaged out to make this actual overall rating. We're going to be doing 3 sort of tests here today. One is just purely a control, so we're just going to do 5 races, see the average position that Marc Marquez finishes in his AI when we retire from the race, and it does the full simulation. We are then going to set his ratings all to 1, and we're going to see if that result is any different. So we're going to do the same. We're going to do another 5 races and see his average position. We are then going to put the ratings back how they were before, and we're going to change his default personality so that he finishes towards the back. So we're going to say something like last, and we're going to see if that takes any effect. That should be enough for us to determine what is the real driver here of the AI rider performance. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. So here we are after race 1. He has finished in 2nd position for this very first one. Race 2, he's finished in 1st position. For race number 3, he's also finished in 1st position. He's also managed to win race number 4, so just one more to go now. And for the 5th and final race, he has also finished in 1st position, which gives us an average of 1.2 on the completely unmodified game. These are his base stats. Nothing has been changed whatsoever. So now we will go and change his ratings, set his ratings to 1. I was going to set them to 0, but I think 1 probably is a bit safer because the game might default to something else or crash or something if it's set to 0, whereas 1 should still be a valid number, and we'll see if that has any effect on his finishing positions. So here we are in the database once again. I'll just show you that I actually am going through and setting this all to 1. So as you can see, we've rebooted the game. Marc Marquez now does have a rating of 1, which is pretty hilarious to see because I'm pretty sure the lowest one in the game is like 70 odd or something like that. It's not, they're pretty high generally, so to see one literally with 1 digit is quite funny. But we will now repeat the same test, so I'll be my custom rider once again, and we'll just do again some more simulated races, and we'll see where Marc finishes. So after race number 1, we've actually got the same result as test 1. He's finished in 2nd position, so I mean, that in itself is probably enough to confirm the theory, but we will go through, we'll do the proper scientific method, we'll do all 5 for this test, and then we'll do our final test to prove that that is still the decider of the values. But yeah, seems so far that the rating system doesn't appear to actually affect the performance. So race number 2, he is 2nd place again, so he has now started finishing 2nd, but obviously that's not a big enough change to attribute that to what we've actually done. And of course he did finish 2nd in one of the races last time, so it's not like that was an impossible goal, but so far he has finished 2nd in both of the races in this test. After race number 3, he is back on top once again, so back to that first position that we saw him finishing so many times in test number 1. So after race number 4, he has finished second once again, so Bezzecchi does seem to be fighting back a little bit more in this one. And race number 5, we have a new winner completely, Jorge Martin. I mean, that's the kind of race I want to watch. If there's 25 thousandths between first and second and 82 thousandths between second, first and third, that's the kind of race I want to be watching, that's for sure. But for test number 2 then, he finished second, first, second, which gives him an average of 1.8, which is 0.6 higher than test number 1, but I think a pretty negligible amount when we're talking such small numbers. So now is for the real litmus test. We're going to go put his ratings back to how they were, and we're now going to change his default personality. We're going to put him as last, and we're going to see if that has an impact on his finishing position. I'm thinking that it will. I'd be very surprised if it doesn't, and it basically proves that the rider ratings are just purely superficial. So we've put his rating back to how it should have been before, and if we now swap over to the pilots table, you can see his default personality previously was champion, so that would kind of make sense why he's finishing first and second every time. So if we put it down to last now, and then write those changes. So back in the game once again, you can see his ratings have returned to their original values. So if we go as ourselves and then go to the track, we'll do the test one more time, and I'm expecting to see him down at the bottom of the timesheets, but I guess we'll see when we actually start the test. So then after race number 1, he has finished in 21st position, so he has got it over the line in front of Alex Rins and of course myself, who hasn't finished the race at all. But immediately I think this confirms the theory. Like I said with the first part of test 2, it kind of confirmed what I already thought, but this one definitely does. We will carry on regardless, because I think it'll be funny to compare the actual averages, but yeah, I think that kind of proves it. I mean, I think one of the races, I think the one where they might have been like literally right on top of each other, like less than a tenth separating the 3, I feel like he did like a 39.0 as his fastest lap, so he's nearly 1.3 seconds slower just with that change there. So after race number 2 then, Alex Rins actually got the better of him this time, so he finished last position, 22nd place. Race number 3, he is once again in 22nd place. Well, race number 4, he's actually finished P19, so that's actually a decent improvement. Still obviously at the back with the, I was going to say with the Yamahas, but actually he's at the back with the KTMs by the looks of it. But yeah, obviously again, still quite a big jump from where he was finishing first and second every single time. And in race number 5, he once again finishes in 21st position, which actually gives him an average of 21st, because he finished 21st, 22nd, 22nd, 19th, and 21st. So yeah, that's a jump of 20 positions effectively from the first 2 tests, so I think that's some pretty solid evidence. I don't think we need much more than that. Now the question you're probably asking is, does this really matter? And of course it doesn't. It really does not matter at all. Yes, they said obviously in part of the sales pitch that they have the rider ratings that will be kind of updated throughout the season and it will affect the real world performance, but the ratings not actually doing anything doesn't necessarily make that untrue. They could still very well update the ratings and then update the personality to match that. And for your average player, you're not going to know any different. You are just going to think that the ratings drive the performance. And also, I highly, highly doubt anyone bought the game because of the rating system. I guess the next question is why, and that one I don't have such a good answer for, because why fake this stuff? I don't really get it, especially because obviously I was speaking earlier on in the video about MotoGP 23, 24 and 25, and of course now as it turns out 26, and how those games generate the AI rider performance. But every game before that, the reason why they're excluded is because they used to have individual rider rankings. Now, the actual way they generate the lap time is still the same in the modern day compared to those. It's just every single rider used to have their own value, whereas now they just get assigned one from the list. The result is very much the same, but it does make you laugh because they kind of actually did have individual rider rankings that they could have kind of used back in the day, but instead obviously they're still sticking with the same system, and it kind of just means, what do these values even mean? They're kind of plucked out of thin air because they don't apply to anything. I guess it's for the trading cards. Obviously, if you didn't know, or the trading cards or the stickers, whatever they're calling them, basically you unlock packs by playing the game, and you can unlock all the riders, all the tracks basically, and also some special variants of the riders where they're drawn in like a bit of an anime style as far as I'm aware. Definitely one of those things that like a mid-2000s game that would do, like there's little collectible cards and things like that that I kind of say is nice, and it's also not behind a paywall at all. It is, you purely unlock them by just playing races in the game, so I have no problem with it. I think actually it's a nice little feature. And I guess maybe that's what the ratings are for, because they look better on the cards. It's a bit like I said earlier, it's a bit like the Formula 1 game with the driver ratings. They always do like YouTube videos talking about the ratings and like reacting to them and laughing. And you know, the FIFA games, people like collect the cards and things like that for like Ultimate Team. So I guess that's why. But yeah, we kind of solved it in this video that they actually do nothing. They are completely fake. Like I said, obviously it doesn't really matter, but I thought it was an interesting experiment, and hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you are new to my channel, please do like the video and subscribe, because it really helps me out. And of course, it is a win-win for both of us, as you get some more MotoGP 26 game content in your subscription feed. Do let me know if you enjoyed this kind of technical testing kind of video. We can maybe try and do it with some other stuff, sort of experiment with the game. And of course, my team will be back very, very soon, so do stick around for that, because the support for that first episode has been absolutely unreal. I've never seen anything like it on a career mode video, so I really, really do appreciate it, guys. And I'm glad you're enjoying it, because that was kind of the point of that series, was to break away from the standard stuff that people do, playing the career modes, just recording it and just chopping it up or whatever. I kind of want to build a bit of a story around it, make it a bit more interesting, and I'm glad that people have enjoyed that one very much. But like I said, that will be out soon, so hopefully I'll see you for that one in the next video.